What up, y'all? It is your boy, Zach, known as King of all YouTubers here, back for more electrifying videos. Before I begin, take our colors of lightning and our YouTube channels, and Hulk smash them on to the subscribe button, because we are writing positive comments each day, because Peter Party Anti-Series after each 980 million subscribers. I'll be shutting down Peter Party Anti-Series, so without further ado, let's begin this video. So, alright, in this video, I'm going to be talking about, is it very, very, very unlikely to have a sequel of the Jak and Daxter because of Legacy? Well, let's figure that out in this video. So, it turns out that a lot of people were commenting on my video. I'll show you. On my video on Reddit. So, it's not the Precursor Door one. It says this. Do you think, right after Blueprint remakes the trilogy, are they willing to make a sequel to the Precursor Legacy and bring back Galen Maya? 50% people think that Galen Maya is presumed dead. But I think that's not true. They could still be alive out there somewhere. So Sheep Electric says, I was always bummed. They did nothing with those characters. Would be cool if they retcon them into the sequel somehow. Sheep Electric, I believe your information is correct. They did nothing with those characters. Because it turns out that in Jak 2 and Jak 3, they did nothing with those characters. And also, it would be cool if they retcon them in the sequel somehow, meaning come back, like return. That could be impossible though. We're still thinking. And then this one has 6 upvotes. And he said, proof underscore log underscore 9566. This was 1 day ago. He said, same. It would be great if they did Jak 4, where they go back in time because something bad happened and figure out that it was Galen Maya that escaped and are going on a rampage, and you have to save each sage's village or children, which will help you in turn to defeat them. Yes, I think that is a possibility for that to happen in the next game. Now, Jak and Daxter 4 is Jak X Combat Racing, because it turns out there's Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, Jak 2 Renegade, Jak 3, and Jak 4, which is Jak X Combat Racing. So that means there could be a Jak and Daxter 5, because Jak 4 already came out. It was the Combat Racing. But before that, there was a project known as the canceled Jak 4 project, which it was the Last of Us Jak 4 project. And Naughty Dog was making a game at that time. And they thought the textures were good and all that stuff, right? Well, wrong. They canceled that project. The cancel was the textures look good, but Naughty Dog is like, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like this is gonna work. So, cancel. And so, then after that, Naughty Dog is not coming back to making another Jack and Daxter game, but that does not end there. Swinky Boy 69 says, is it confirmed that Blue Point is remaking the trilogy? I said it's a rumor. Because it turns out it has minus 14 votes, but don't mind about my votes. Don't mind about my votes. Don't mind about them. Just because of like King. And so it's a rumor. Yes, it's a rumor. And Blue Point is still remaking the trilogy, the re-trilogy of Jack and Daxter. 3 games. It's still a rumor. It's still a rumor. Maggie Gay says that Gall and Maya would be perfect villains for Jack 4. One thing I really want is that they take their time making the game and not rush it. Jack 3 is in many ways better than 2, but the story isn't one of them. I was kind of sad when I first played it because story was all over the place. So, yes, Goliath would be perfect villains. And for Jack 4, Jack 4 was Jackass Combat Racing. Because Combat Racing did count as a sequel, but it was just a Combat Racing game. And Jack and Daxter The Lost Frontier did not count as a sequel, because people are mad about it, and they said that that game is trash. Well, I've based on my calculations. People think that's trash. I think the game is that I play, my opinion, is that the game is the best for me. Your opinions, I don't mind about them, but you think the game is trash? No, not really. But if it's still trash, then go with it. Let's see. Block the user. And Harley R says, "Hey OP, please don't put titles like that. The Blue Point rumor is old and dead, and also very speculative." So I have to put titles like that because the Blue Point rumor is not old. It turns out it's very, very new. And it's not dead yet. It's not dead yet. It's still, the rumor's still going around. So, and Killer Cav says 560. So Killer Cav 564 says, and I know this is a very unpopular opinion, but I don't care if they reboot the franchise with a Precursor Legacy remake or reboot. Then they should completely retcon Jack 2 and 3 to have more sequels and lines because of Legacy. You don't care if they reboot the franchise? What if they reboot the franchise? That'd be sweet. Because of Legacy, and they should reboot it, yes. When come Jack and 2 and 3 to have more sequels and lines because of Legacy. Well, Jack and Daxter because of Legacy is going to have a sequel to it. But Jack 2 and 3, somewhere in the future, throughout the years. And on Salad 1974 says they went to the future and nothing can be seen of Gall or Maya. So maybe they didn't come back, or maybe they were the ones who created the metalheads. Well, on Salad 1974, it turns out that Gall and Maya are still alive. And they were the ones creating the metalheads and Jack 2 Renegade. they did create the metal heads because Gal and Maya, Gal and Maya found the secrets of the Dark Eco, and what they did, and Gal and Maya, for what they did is that they created the metalheads. And Gal and Maya are precursors, meaning Gal and Maya were once precursors, and now Gal and Maya turned against each other, and now Gal and Maya are Dark Eco makers, and Gal and Maya are the ones that created the metalheads. And in Jack 2, Jack met a very specific person at the beginning of the game, and at the end of the game, he became, his name is Core, and at the end of the game, Jack destroyed the Saints that lured Core into Haven City, and Core is the leader of all Metalheads, and he attacked Haven City himself and killed Ben Praxis. Because Ben Praxis is the one that made Jack, because he pumped a Dark Eco into him. And so, it turns out there's more series to it. And proof_log_9566 says, in the limited run bundles, they did tease Gal and Maya coming back and one of the books that came with those boxes. I wish I got my hands on those, but they were sold super quick. Yeah, they were sold super quick. I just couldn't get them because I couldn't afford them because something happened back in the years, and yes, they did tease Gal and Maya coming back, but still, they will come back. And worried_example says, wouldn't that be great? Yeah, it would be great. And shouts out to you, worried_example. _happy_hermit says, I really doubt they use blueprint for remake. Sounds too good to be true. TBH. Well, it still was going to happen, and Blueprint is still remaking Zack and Daxter, the re-trilogy. Is it still a rumor? Yes. Then TBH. I don't know what TBH means, but I go with it. And here's the big question. Kuwumbo says, very unlikely. While this ending does potentially tease a return of Gal and Maya, this was done this way before concrete plans for a sequel were ever made. And when those plans were eventually made, they obviously decided to go in the direction that Jack 2 was, which means that any potential intention of bringing them back is completely gone. Not to mention, Jack and Daxter is essentially a dead franchise that is very unlikely to be resurrected. And honestly, it shouldn't be brought back. We should enjoy the masterpieces that have been given to us. Okay, Crumbo, first of all, you said something about very unlikely that it'll come back. Well, first of all, there's still rumors on Bluepoint remaking Jack and Daxter, the re-trilogy. While the ending potentially takes the return of Gal and Maya, this was done before the plans were ever made. So, yeah, that's true. And when those plans were originally made, they eventually decided on a document that too. And then when those plans were eventually made, the back is completely gone. So, Columbo, you said, okay, so before any plans were made, if there's any potential bringing them back, it's gone. That's not technically true. Here's why. Because here's why that's not true. You think that's gone? It's not gone yet. There's still hope of Jack and Daxter to come back, and Blue Point is still remaking the re-trilogy of Jack and Daxter, and I'm super excited. Jack and Daxter is essentially a dead franchise. No, we are still, Jack and Daxter is not a dead franchise. It is a franchise that will technically revive, and we will help Jack and Daxter rise up from the dead and never be dead again. And it turns out that Jack and Daxter will come back up from the dead and still make more series about Jack and Daxter. That is very unlikely to be resurrected. Well, it is very likely to be resurrected because there's still a chance for Jack and Daxter to come back. I'm now just making my thoughts here. It shouldn't be brought back. We should enjoy the rest in peace and give it to us. Well, yeah, definitely. We should enjoy these Jack and Daxter games from Naughty Dog. The Jack and Daxter Castle Legacy, Jack 2, and Jack 3. I mean, I've got those games. I've been enjoying those games. But I've never played the Jack X Combat Racing one. But I know that game is really cool, though. Yeah. So let me go back to Reddit. Let me replay the video for you. Alright. Alright, you ready? Because we're ready.
Perhaps we found another sage.
Okay.
Perhaps we found another sage. Perhaps we found another sage now that Gaul and Maya are lost. Yes, Gaul and Maya. The Dark Eagle probably destroyed them. Yeah, probably.
Who cares? Bring 'em on! We can take 'em again, right, Jack? I said, right, Jack?
Perhaps we...
So, is it very, very, very unlikely that Jack and Daxter will come back? No. There was still hope that Jack and Daxter, hope by power hour God, hopefully will come back. Jack and Daxter will come back. Is it very, very unlikely that Jack and Daxter will come back? Is it very unlikely to be resurrected? No. Jack and Daxter will be resurrected, and hopefully, by power hour God's hope, by power hour God, Kingdom of King's hope, it'll come back. And if Jack and Daxter is resurrected once again from the dead, it's not a dead franchise. It's still going. If Jack and Daxter ever comes back, that'll be awesome. And yes, I did make a slideshow on his Blue Point. I said Blueprint, but that was my mistake. It was Blue Point. Yeah, I meant Blue Point. Yeah. And Blue Point